It's quite surprising how far we have really come ever since the sequel trilogy's end, with, of course, J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio bringing an end to the Skywalker saga and moving on with what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are now doing with the overall mandoverse. We have seen Luke Skywalker come back in his prime. We have seen everything ranging from Ahsoka Tano coming into the form of live action, as well as what's to come for The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4, as well as the Ahsoka Tano series. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So what's really all the more exciting is exactly what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are really involved with right now. We have, of course, The Mandalorian Season 3 coming to an end when it comes to filming. They're practically done with that. They just have a couple of other major scenes to film throughout the month of March, and then they're all done with that. Moving on from that, they have, of course, The Mandalorian Season 4 to work on, as well as other Star Wars TV shows that will be announced at Star Wars Celebration this year in May, by the way. Now, one thing that a lot of fans have been very curious about is exactly what's been going on behind the scenes with, of course, Bob Chapek and, of course, other, Lucasfilm creators coming on board of other Star Wars projects in the works. We have, of course, Jon Favreau, simply as the busiest man in Hollywood, as I like to call him, because this guy's working on a dozen Star Wars projects at the same exact time in various phases of production. Some of which are filming, some of which are being, of course, implemented into the early development phase, some of which are now in pre-production. I mean, Jon Favreau's got a lot on his plate, and it's really great that he's got Dave Filoni by his side helping out, as well as George Lucas, helping out with the entire Mandoverse and other new Star Wars eras. However, what's really exciting has everything to do with exactly what they have planned with the character of Rey. Now, with both Disney and Lucasfilm beginning to work on their new Star Wars TV shows, such as Ahsoka, and even new unannounced Star Wars shows that will be unveiled at Celebration, it's described that creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are currently engaged in a massive project for Disney Plus, and how Star Wars that will actually drop sometime during the holiday season of 2023. Now, it's noted that Favreau is said to be involved with the 4-hour cut of The Rise of Skywalker that will include a host of multiple deleted scenes for the new cut of Episode 9 that will involve a special scene for the character of Rey. This is said to be near similar to how the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League was used. It's described that one of the major scenes that Favreau will be working on for the 4-hour cut of Episode 9 is set to involve a scene that features both Rey and Obi-Wan Kenobi's Force Ghost that was partially shot by both J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio that is now going to be completed by Jon Favreau. It's described that this is a scene that entails a moment where Rey is revealed to be the granddaughter of Obi-Wan Kenobi instead of the granddaughter of Palpatine. It takes place within a location known as the Lost City. So let me stop right here for 1 second. You guys may recall that we talked about the Lost City back in 2018 into early 2019 before Episode 9 released. And the Lost City was going to be basically a series of Jedi ruins underneath the surface of a sacred Jedi world. And this is exactly where Rey was going to learn about her true lineage, about her true origin, if you will, exactly who she really is. It was also going to involve a place called the Pool, in a sense. That Jedi Pool was going to be a sacred series of water that would take place underneath the Jedi ruins that actually connects her to the Force. Now, this is something that we have seen in Star Wars Legends, where it's actually called the Lake of Dreams in Episode 9's concept, but it was going to be based on the pool that we have seen in Star Wars Legends. It's a very interesting way that the Jedi or Force users connect to the Force, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But a place that takes place underneath the surface of a Jedi sacred area in the Star Wars galaxy was going to be explored, that was supposed to be in the final cut of the film that never actually finished filming and never made it to the big screen. The scene was filmed to a degree, but never finished other aspects such as CGI, the score, color correction, and even some audio work that was left out. Now, Favreau is described to be involved with the 4-hour cut by completing the scene to show fans what could have been in the Star Wars world. Now, once again, this is said to involve areas known as the Lake of Dreams, the Lost City, and other aspects of this sacred Jedi world. Now, Daisy Ridley talked about the concept of becoming a Rey Kenobi, in a sense, in multiple, interviews she has said before in the past. We'll get to that in just a second. But one thing about Jon Favreau leading this deleted scene and becoming a part of the 4-hour cut of Episode 9 was all initiated by Bob Chapek. We talked about this a couple of months ago, of how they are initiating a 4-hour cut of Episode 9 that will be on Disney Plus exclusively. We're not quite sure if it'll ever make it to DVD or a Blu-ray or 4K disc, whatever it may be. But as of right now, it is going to be a streaming exclusive for holiday of 2023 that will be announced at Star Wars Celebration of 2023, most likely in the summertime. So moving on from that, in this scene, Rey is described to wear a unique white Jedi outfit that is very much like Kenobi's at the very end of Revenge of the Sith, however far lighter in design and color. Ewan McGregor was supposed to be a part of the scene when JJ was shooting Episode 9. However, at the time, they were creating a CG version of Sir Alec Guinness instead. Something that Favreau and others at Lucasfilm also prepared to not only do in the Mandoverse, but to also do with this in the 4-hour cut of Episode 9. Now, this all alludes to what Daisy Ridley recently said about Rey's origin and her bloodline, stating, yes, well, JJ and Terrio were always going back and forth between who Rey was always going to be. We were really actually close to making her Rey Kenobi in the final cut of the movie. We had even done test shots and actually shot some scenes of her being a Kenobi, and it's something that Kathleen Kennedy did not agree with in the long run. We were testing so many different bloodlines, between herself and myself being a nobody to a Palpatine, to even being a Skywalker. But being a Kenobi for a long time was at the time the top of the list, where JJ really wanted to connect it all to the fans and exactly what they really wanted to see in that famous Force vision that was actually connected to The Force Awakens when Obi-Wan speaks to me. It would have been so fitting, to say the least. We actually had some great ideas that were supposed to be used that sadly did not make it. Now, once again, Chris Terrio and J.J. Abrams, they were essentially going to borrow aspects from Colin Trevorrow's script of Episode 9, which was initially called Duel of the Fates. And in there, if you guys go ahead and look at a lot of the art, you can see that there were Obi-Wan Kenobi elements, and they were taking a lot of those ideas, and Kathleen Kennedy wanted nothing to do with it in the long run. After they had test some shots, partially shot the scene between a CG version of Sir Alec Guinness and Daisy Ridley as Rey, and unveiling that she is indeed a Rey Kenobi. Now, this is something that Jon Favreau is picking up to complete this scene and to show it to the world, and to show us what could have been for Episode 9 in this 4-hour cut of the movie. Now, Disney CEO Bob Chapek's plan is to actually show us a map of exactly which scenes are going to be labeled as canon and which scenes are going to be labeled as non-canon. It's basically safe to say that this will be labeled as non-canon, unfortunately, because of what Jon Favreau is planning to do with, of course, the Rise of Skywalker sequel series, of how she is going to actually have her bloodline be explored even more in depth, with, of course, being a Palpatine still, but also having that Rey Solana lineage. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.